Well, I was going to turn my light off because I don't think we need to spend a whole lot more time on this. You know, one group that we've not heard from tonight, because it seems like part of the hang-up on this deals with the legal issues and the fear of a lawsuit. We've not heard one of the, and I'll define what the fee offices were, and I did not intend to include the sheriff or the property assessor's office or the court clerk's offices in here, but we've not heard from any of the fee offices at all on how they feel about this, and will there even be a lawsuit filed? I mean, because my understanding is that to have standing, it has to be someone that's harmed or potentially harmed by that, and we've heard nothing but silence from them. Is there any concerns, you know, about this, or do they agree or disagree? And if they do, what parts of it do they disagree with? And if they're going to sue, what are they suing about? I mean, the whole question on the legal opinions may be mute if they have no objections.
I think the reason they haven't spoken is because they weren't asked, and I think that's part of the problem.
I'm asking you.
Okay, are you directing that to anyone in particular?
No, I guess.
If I might chime in on that,
Yes,
I think that I think it would be very naive of us to think that they don't know that that question is out there. Whether we have asked in front of these microphones or anything of that nature, I think the fee offices know full well what's going on. They've known full well what's been going on for the last year. There's been a defeated charter amendment that said that and a whole lot more. So I guess I would question why they're not here. I mean, they know. The fee offices that this applies to know what people are thinking. They know what Commissioner Briggs' resolution said. So I guess I'd turn that equation around and say, why aren't you here? Because if you're transparent, open, and honest, you should show up and say, yes or no, we want that or not. But to remain silent and let the, you know, bloggers or public sentiment or debate by this body dictate what the answer is, I think is, you know, it's troublesome to me that no one's here. I don't think we had to ask them to come. I think they should have been here with bells on to say what they felt.
I only mention that not as any sort of accusation, but simply because I can't help but think that if everyone looked deep down in their hearts, including them, they think that what we're doing here is probably right. And, you know, there is this hang-up that people have on this legal issue. There may be some other motivations, but I really don't care to go there. But if you're talking about something that's right or wrong, I think that what we're doing is good. I think it's in the interest of the taxpayer. That's how I started the debate on this, and that's how I'll finish it right now. Is we have been distracted by this fear of a lawsuit. I haven't heard anyone that would have standing on this stand up and say, I'm going to sue, and this is why we think that not presenting a budget or not having contracts reviewed by the contracting office is good. And I'll stop there because I think the vote's decided, so I'll stop.
Mr. Pinkston?
No, if we're going to vote, that's fine, but I thought I'd seen on TV with Commissioner Briggs even there that some of them didn't agree with it on inside.
I must not watch that channel. I'm sorry.
I think really all they said that day was that they just said, trust us.
Okay, Mr. Schaaf.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be very brief. Dr. Briggs, did I hear you correctly to say that you did not mean to have the sheriff's office in the ordinance? Or
well, the reason I say that is that the sheriff's office already presents a budget. We already have his personnel, just everything that really would apply to this. Maybe he doesn't have to do it, but he's already doing it. And it's the same thing with the property assessor. He's already doing it. And these offices have felt that the open forum, the open budget process is sufficient. I know we've said we've elected these people to let them do it. then I don't know why we even have a budget review process when the mayor submits a budget. Why not just do what the schools or the sheriff or the mayor, give them what they want?
And let me ask the sheriff, do you think you're constrained and prohibited from exercising your elected duty?
That's why I explained to you the law of the state of Tennessee that says the commission doesn't have the ability to cut my budget without my approval. If you pass this resolution, that would give you the ability to do that, and I could not stand for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Lockett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to address legal issues. I've heard it said by some that this debate has somehow become one between Commissioner Briggs and myself. I'd like to say that it is not between Commissioner Briggs and myself. Commissioner Briggs has put forward a proposal in the form of a resolution and in the form of an ordinance to be considered by this commission. And there are policy reasons behind that. And many of those policy reasons have been discussed tonight. Policy is the commission's province solely. I am not addressing that aspect of Commissioner Briggs' proposal. Only the legality of imposing that proposal on certain offices in county government. So let me say again that that's all I'm addressing, not whether this is a good idea or a bad idea from a policy aspect. When this debate began, Commissioner Briggs circulated a legal memorandum, and the thrust of that memorandum at that point in time was that in 2006 the Charter Review Committee passed amendments, or drafted amendments, which were eventually ratified by the voters in Knox County. And the thrust of that legal opinion was that these offices that we're talking about today were created. That's what that legal memorandum said. I then undertook, along with others in my office, to research that contention. And I presented the results of that research to you back in March. And the results were that the drafters did not, in fact, create those offices, that they considered language that would do that and expressly rejected creating those offices. So we then defaulted to the language of the charter, which says that these offices are governed by the Constitution of the state of Tennessee, the laws of the state of Tennessee, and the charter. So all three apply. In many respects, the legal arguments that have been put forth in support of Commissioner Briggs' proposals are based on an all or none proposal. On the one hand, these offices must be governed by the charter, or on the other hand, they must be governed by state law. The truth, in fact, is that they are governed by both. And that's what I've attempted to articulate in the past. In some respects, state law and the charter sometimes conflict. And that is why you can't simply default to the charter provisions, because you would be in conflict with other provisions of state law. Over the weekend, Commissioner Briggs, and either title is well-deserved, but Commissioner Briggs, as a courtesy, transmitted to me a more recent legal memorandum. And I had occasion to read it and do some research over the weekend. And I apologize for the lateness, but I attempted to get it in the hands of each of you earlier today, and it was transmitted by email and hard copy in the commission office. As I said, the first legal memorandum in support of this resolution and ordinance was premised on the proposition that the 2006 amendments